Conservatives went crazy about this video. I saw a bunch of them posting about it in West Texas of the local sheriff sending an armored vehicle and SWAT team, look at that thing, to raid a bar that stayed open in defiance of the stay-at-home orders. Police arrested 6 men at the bar who they say had loaded AR-15 type weapons, which may be the reason for the long guns in the armored vehicle, but I think just in the aggregate, the show of force is probably not necessary. It was an overwhelming reaction. And conservatives, I think, were right to look at the video and say, are we really doing this? This is nuts. And there was a bunch more of these. There's the woman in the playground who got arrested. There's the nail salon opener who was arrested. The hair salon owner who was arrested. Unfortunately, the kind of overreaction you see on that video there happens every day in America, particularly to marginalized people. There are entire books about this. That's the issue at the heart of using the police as the tool of enforcement for stay-at-home orders and physical distancing. Because if you use law enforcement, you are going to, I guarantee you, extend, exacerbate, and replicate all the existing inequalities in our already broken criminal justice system. Here's video from last weekend of New York City cops violently throwing a black man to the ground in an incident that started with them enforcing physical distancing. The data backs it up. NYPD today said that 81% of coronavirus-related summonses since the middle of March have been black or Hispanic residents. In Brooklyn, 35 out of the 40 people who were arrested on social distancing violations were black. ProPublica found in some of Ohio's most popular areas, black people were at least 4 times as likely to be charged with stay-at-home violations as whites. The enforcement has obviously been highly disproportionate. And as we go back out into this new normal, whatever it is, I think the point is to establish physical distancing, mask wearing, and all sorts of precautions that we collectively engage in together as a kind of act of bottom-up solidarity, a newly constructed social norm. And if governments or social workers or community elders or public health workers want to try to use moral persuasion and conversation to get people to adhere to those norms, I think that's a great idea. I think people with guns and handcuffs going around telling people to stand further apart is going to be a disaster.